everybody, welcome to the Success Club. I'm reading for you a seminar or a secrets, a masterclass summary, The Secrets to Reinvent Yourself by Tim Han. I found this a really good masterclass. It was free, you should check it out also. I got my hands on the free PDF of the summary and I'm gonna read it for you. I already did the first secret, check that out, and this is secret number 2. I will dive directly into it. It's called transform. So there's a lot of limiting beliefs that human beings tend to carry. With the time we have got left, I'm going to help you to transform just one of many limiting beliefs people tend to carry. Would that be fine if I walk you through the transformation right now? So, this limiting belief is around this thing called money. Would you agree we've all been conditioned different things to do with this thing called money? Remember, no child is ever born with beliefs, perceptions, and habits around money. Your money beliefs are formed from the beliefs and experiences you saw from your parents and others while growing up. Maybe you're struggling financially right now and wondering why you keep on ending up in this situation. It feels like you're a hamster on a wheel, right? Would you like some good news? Okay, results don't happen to us. They happen with us, meaning you are creating this result right now. A lack of money, therefore, is never ever a problem. A lack of money is merely a symptom of what's going on underneath. Because your conscious and subconscious beliefs around money determine how you act, and how you act will ultimately result in what you attract. Is that making sense? Because what creates your results is your belief. Your beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. And if you try to change your results without changing your beliefs, guess what ends up happening? We experience self-sabotage. Have you ever heard of stories of people who go from broke to rich, back to broke? They win the lottery, but shortly after they end up broke again. In fact, it's scary how often this happens. This is a real-life story of Jack Whitaker. He won $350 million in lottery winnings in West Virginia in 2002. Since winning, his mom, granddaughter, and granddaughter's boyfriend died due to a drug overdose. Within 4 years, he's back to being broke. Even worse, he was sued by a casino for bouncing $1.5 million worth of checks. And when the reporter was interviewing Jack, who do you think Jack blamed? Himself and took ownership? Or did he become a victim and blame money? Of course he blamed money. It turned out Jack had a really broken relationship with money. So his limiting beliefs around money became a self-fulfilling prophecy for him. Recognize the essence of money is merely a belief. It is not material in nature. Think about this logically. Which one is worth more? $100 or $1? Of course, $100, right? But if you actually look up how much it costs them to print out the $100 note, it's just 19.6 cents. They've conditioned us pretty well in terms of that belief, wouldn't you agree? So, the value of money is determined by the words on the money itself. And we are all conditioned to believe that's true. Hence, why we value it in that way. So here's an important truth to remember. Money is just bits of paper. However, we've all assigned it different beliefs in our minds. And no belief lives in your mind lives rent-free. Would you like to know what money really is? Money is simply a means of storing people's energy for the purpose of exchange. Think about it. If you're working a job, you're often working 1 month in advance, providing 1 month of energy. And at the end of that month, what do you really normally get? You get a paycheck, right? This paycheck represents the 1 month of energy you've put in. Meaning, the moment you go and spend this paycheck, you're spending your energy. Making sense? So the moment you're receiving money, it means you're receiving other people's energy. Isn't that true? So knowing it's all just energy, let's talk about the relationship pillar of our life. Do you think the energy I represent right now is important if I want to attract the right relationship partner into my life? Let's say I'm coming from desperate scarcity energy like people do when it comes to money. You know, penny pinching, they can't let it go. Imagine I come from this desperate scarcity energy right now and I'm at a bar and I'm looking around and I see a girl that I find attractive. I desperately walk up to her and grab her saying, "Oh my God, you're going to marry me right now. You're going to marry me. I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to let you go. You're going to marry me." What will happen? She will be like, "Yeah, Tim, let's get married." Or she will be gone. She'll be gone, right? Now, if somehow that strategy ends up working, imagine one day I get married and I wake up in bed and I'm looking at my wife and I look at her kind of like how most people look at money and say, "Don't move an inch. You're not escaping." Now, if all of a sudden she hear that, how long will they honestly stick around? That's why if you truly be abundant in your life, you've got to get comfortable with letting go. As money is like blood, it must flow. Holding onto it causes clogging. In order for it to grow, it must flow. Otherwise, it gets blocked, and like clotted blood, it can only cause damage. So get rid of the word spend. Spending a scarcity language pattern. It implies it's getting used up. The word circulate is much better a word. It's more accurate of what's actually going on. Have you ever been to a restaurant before? The moment you circulate your money to pay for the restaurant bill, that money now goes to the waiter or waitress, and they will go circulate after work to the grocery store, and the grocery store employees will circulate it elsewhere. You're keeping the whole dance going around the world, and maybe it might even circulate back to you again. So anytime you've got the chance to let go with joy instead of letting go with scarcity and hatred. Okay. So you've got to go from needing abundance in your life to being abundance in your life. In fact, the word affluence is an overworked word in modern times, usually implying cars and the houses and things of all kinds. Affluence comes from the Latin word affluere, which means to flow abundantly. Isn't that beautiful? And it doesn't mean to acquire things at all. Affluence is an energetic state we can all tap into, which our needs are easily met and our desires spontaneously fulfilled. We feel joy, health, happiness, and vitality in every moment of our existence. Thus, it is not so much of a condition in life, it is an attitude towards life. Isn't that beautiful? The truly affluent person is what psychologist Rollo May calls a fully functioning person. Would you like to make the switch right now to go from scarcity to abundance so you can thrive no matter what's happening in the outer world? Take a look at the differences between the scarcity and the abundance mindset in the slide below. Would you like to know one of the biggest abundance blockers people have subconsciously due to our programming? This is where I had to have a lot of experience of expensive coaching for me to free myself of this block. One of my teachers from the past said to me, "Tim, the reason why you're struggling in terms of relationships, in terms of health, in terms of wealth is because poor people pass over opportunities repetitively. And that's what you're doing every single day. It just takes one opportunity for you to change your life. You've got to become more open. But the reason why you're not open, Tim," he said, "is because the way opportunities are presented to us. We are programmed to believe it's bad. It's presented to us with this world called selling. Were you ever told when you were growing up that salespeople are bad? You should never be like a salesperson. The thing is, many people have an aversion towards this word called selling. It once again comes down to ingrained limiting belief that eventually results in self-sabotage. Because how did CNN, constant negative news, program us in terms of this word called selling? Was it positive or negative? Was it good or was it bad? Which one? It was bad, wouldn't you agree? You see, the block happens when we don't realize we're all salespeople. Think about it. How many times have you been to a great restaurant before and you're eating that broccoli and you're like, oh my god, this is the best broccoli ever. And you're texting John. Hey John, you're like, John, you've got to taste this broccoli, man. What are you doing at the moment? You're selling, right? Have you ever been on a date before? Dating scenario is one big sales pitch. You're looking at him or her in the eyes and you talk about the benefits of being with you, and all of a sudden you say something like this. You know, if you get with me, I'm going to cook you a tasty bowl of spaghetti bolognese. If you know what I mean. Children are the best salespeople. If a child wants candy, is a child going to close you? You bet. Imagine little Patrick is looking deeply into your soul saying, please mom, just one candy. And you're like, no, Patrick, please mom, please. And eventually you're like, okay, just one, Patrick. Children are the best salespeople, right? Now, going back to the context. If a salesperson actually ends up selling you something and that product ends up helping you, has that salesperson done you a service? Yes or no? Has that salesperson helped you? You bet. When my teacher was sharing this concept to me, I was looking him in the eyes and he said to me, Tim, that's what selling is. Selling is serving. If you're not open to somebody trying to sell to you, you're literally blocking yourself off from somebody trying to help you. And I had so many light bulbs in this moment. It was shortly after this when I freed myself from this block. I began to see more opportunities for me to change my life. In fact, can I share with you quite a deep story right now? Back in 2017, I set a New Year goal that I wanted to become an international speaker. The problem was, I was always struggling with social anxiety due to the things I've experienced in the past. I could never speak on camera. I was always introverted. But I wrote this goal down because my heart said yes, and several months went by. Nothing happened. But on one of the afternoons, I found myself on Facebook. I don't normally respond back to ads, but this advert was speaking out loud to me, and it was advertising a free mindset event happening in London. I thought, I've got nothing to lose, it's free. Might as well attend it. And I'm attending this event and it's so valuable, but just before lunch the teacher on the stage begins to sell. And it's so interesting, half of the room in that moment stood up and walked out of the room, and I couldn't help but think, that would have been me back in the past. I thought, you know what? For the first time ever, I'm going to do something crazy. Why don't I just listen to what this guy is trying to help me with? And if I want to be helped, if it sounds valuable, then I can say yes, instead of closing myself off straight away. And that's what I decided to do. And he pitched this course. It actually sounded pretty valuable. The problem was, it's quite expensive. Have you ever had decision-making moments when your head is saying no and your heart is saying yes? My heart was just weirdly just saying yes. Find a way. And I ended up just finding a way and taking that leap. I ended up paying for that program. And shortly after, when I was attending the paid-for program, I ended up meeting a guy on the front row. He ends up introducing me to his mentor. Shortly after, I end up interviewing his mentor on our online show. And at the end of the interview, his mentor looks at me and says, Tim, what's your goal for the end of this year? And I said nervously, my goal is to become an international speaker. And he said, Tim, I know you're anxious. I can tell you're quite shy, but I do see potential in you. If you aren't aware, I run the biggest speaking organization in London, and just last year I was speaking alongside Richard Branson in Asia. You know what, Tim? I'm going to actually personally train you myself, and I'm going to get you connected to the organizers in Asia. By the end of this year, you'll be traveling around the world as an international speaker. And at one of these events I was speaking at, one of the women stood up in the front row and said, "I need to get your message heard." And I was flown out business class to meet the president of Ghana to discuss how we can change the traditional education system so our children out there in the third world countries truly believe in their worth and they have got the inner power that's required for them to succeed no matter what. This was when it finally made sense why selling is serving. Had I not left my mind open, I would have totally missed out on that opportunity. When opportunities knock on your door, always be willing to take a chance, because you never know how perfect something could turn out to be. And this is why Wayne Dyer once said, "Abundance is not something we acquire, it is something we tune into." So, are you ready to go on to the final secret? Thanks for watching. This was secret number 2. I'm going to secret number 3. Next video. Hope you learned something from this video and from this series, from this secret. This is really good. Don't forget to check out my new skin videos. Join my MLM new skin team. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Secret number 3. Reprogram.